As promised, Toyota is turning their Prius into a family. Joining the original is the bigger V, the more electrified plug-in, and this, the smaller C. Let's drive the cheapest way to get a Prius badge in your garage and check the tech.
No car should look that much like one of these. But color aside, the Prius C is a smaller Prius in both engine and in total package size. It weighs 2,500 pounds, about as little as a production car does these days, and 500 pounds less than a standard Prius. It's 19 inches shorter and has a 3-foot smaller turning radius. That makes a real difference when you're parking or making that illegal U-turn you always do. You've got several displays inside this guy with this kind of weird offset dashboard that's very much Prius-like. Up there you've got a multi-information display. All of these Prius Cs have that one. This one is only in the upper 2 trim levels, the 3 and the 4, and I think it's optional as a package or a line item in each case. It's a very simple navigation system. As you can see, it's on a small screen as well, but I've got an apps button. That means I've got a version of Toyota's Entune service in here. You've got Pandora, you've got fuel price lookup, Bing search. This is a different interface than we've seen before. I don't like it nearly as much, but it's a lower cost unit, so I get it. Endless screens on here to check out your energy consumption and pat yourself on the back. I'm even told there's a way you can input the MPG of your other car, and this one will tell you how much you're saving by driving this car. But all this cabin tech in here is not the point to my mind on a Prius C. I would not load it up like this. In fact, you may have seen a recent survey by RL Polk, the big car data company, that indicated that only 35% of folks who had a hybrid bought another one in 2011 when they replaced the car. So it's a pretty small number of return customers. They're finding out that they can do just as well in many cases with a small, lean 4-cylinder gas engine car and not have to earn back the premium on a hybrid. We'll talk more about pricing later. The rest of this cabin's pretty familiar Prius stuff. You've got these little Prius controller wheels here on the steering wheel. You've got the similar Prius-style shifter, which has the B position for additional regenerative brake capture of energy to the battery. And here's your Eco mode and your EV mode. Eco makes it run very leanly with gas and electric. EV mode, of course, forces the car to run on electric motor as much as it can. And unlike some Toyota hybrid products like the Lexus CT200H, there's no sport mode on this car, and that's a good thing. Now under the hood, it's a Toyota, so our hybrid system is right there, hybrid Synergy Drive. This is a 1.5-liter gas engine coupled with an electric motor. This is like in the earlier Prii. The big Prius has now moved on to a 1.8-liter. Total combined horsepower here is 99 horsepower. You can't combine the electric and the gas engine total horsepowers together. It's a common mistake because they're blended. They're not totally additive. And of course, it's a side saddle front wheel drive, and you've got a CVT only as your transmission.
Okay, underway, if you think this car is going to really feel like 99 horsepower, which is all it has, you're in for a bit of a surprise. In certain throttle positions and transitions, it feels quite a bit more sprightly than those numbers would tell you. Where the car peters out is once you get into anything more than just sort of poking around town. 30, 40 miles an hour and getting up and down from that around town, that's great. Because this car is light and not too well sound insulated, shall we say, you hear all kinds of noises. It's not a very refined experience, but again, for the money, that could be all right. The ride quality on the Prius C is about what you'd expect, a short wheelbase car with a fairly unrefined suspension, but it does have that belly full of batteries, giving this car a little more plantedness, so it doesn't ride as poorly as some of the lightest, tiniest small cars I've driven. It's actually got pretty decent ride quality.
I'm pricing out the cheapest C in this case because that's how I approach this car. A C1 starts at about $19,750 delivered. Now at that level, you can't even option a sunroof or an LCD screen head unit with nav or Entune, but it will have all the important media sources, and it's the cheapest way to get into Toyota's vaunted hybrid technology, though still an arguable financial case.